Hey, this is GoggleCandy. Today we're going to be talking about Blanka. Now, first off, let's look at Blanka's personality, who he is as a character. First off, one misconception is that he's stupid. He is not stupid, and I can prove it. First off, you look at some of the cutscenes. He does use the phone. He does enter himself into the world tournaments. Those tournaments you would need a location, a number, do some paperwork. There's a lot more work in that a stupid person by themselves could not do. And as Blanka likes to do, he runs off to go do his street fighting in those tournaments. So, he's not stupid, but he's certainly not the sharpest bulb. He's socially inept, basically. In his rival fight, he fights El Forte. Why? Because El Forte wears a mask. Therefore, he of course must be a robber. Every other instance where people say that Blanka is being stupid really are more just social unawareness. He just doesn't understand different circumstances, different cultures. He's just not that into it. He knows the jungle and the basics of maybe K-8 school, but that's really about it. That doesn't make him stupid. He's just not all there when it comes to more intricate personal matters. So let's look at him as a character. Well, let's see. He's got a couple different moves. He's got his little jumping, annoying little jump thing, which I don't see as often as I should. Most other characters with an avoidance move like Vega's jump back, I see quite often, but Blanka's not so much. That I think is due to the fact that he has an amazing wake-up move in both the Blanka ball and the air Blanka ball. His Blanka ball is pretty quick and can be used for some weird little trades. They can come at you full force, or they can stop short and grab or slide you. The air Blanka ball makes it very difficult to punish him on wake up. He can actually wait till last minute to get you if you're trying to cross him up on wake up, and it makes it somewhat difficult. And even if he misses, he usually gets himself out of trouble. It's very hard to punish either of those Blanka balls with a character that does not have a projectile. Most grapplers do have a bit of trouble with them. Blanka's electricity also makes it a little difficult for grapplers, but not as much as one would think. His electrical move is a pretty quick spam out with punches. He crouches down and basically electricity is coming out of him everywhere. If you touch him, you get zapped and you get knocked away. It's really good for trades, for cross-ups, and combos. The problem here is it leaves him prone, standing still. This is the same problem that Zangief's Lariat has. It leaves him just standing there without anything to block or protect him. Now, how do you get around someone who's full of electricity? Easier than you might think. There are some weird grapple moves, Forte's Tortilla for instance, that cleanly beat it. There are some air to ground moves that do beat it, or at least trade with it well. A lot of slide moves beat it cleanly. So, while it is really good to try and keep people off you, it's not a win-all. There are plenty of ways to get around it. Now I want to talk about both the Ultras at once. He's got his new Ultra and he's got his old Ultra. His new one in Super, I believe really should have been his first one in Street Fighter. When you think of the character Blanka and you think of what he does, electricity is probably the first thing that does come to mind. There's no other character that really does something like that. So, when you want to accentuate on a character's personality, you think of the electricity. Having a super electrical attack is probably the first thing that comes to mind. Yes, the one they gave him does have electricity, but it's more of an extension on the Blanka ball than anything else. The new Ultra is more of an extension on what people think of when they think of Blanka, and I really think it should have been the first one. His current one has kind of the same thing going for him that Balrog's has. Now when I did the Balrog one, yeah, I didn't like him, but that doesn't take away from the effectiveness of his Ultra. Balrog's Ultra is incredibly effective, incredibly so. Same thing with Blanka's Ultra, incredibly effective. If you colored in all the area that Blanka covers during his Ultra, that's probably half the screen, if not more. Not only that, if you do somehow happen to block it, which if you do, then they probably didn't either Wake Up Ultra, or they didn't Anti-Air Ultra you. If you end up blocking it, the chip damage is immense. Sometimes that's all they need to do is just to Ultra to chip you away. Again, it's very hard to avoid that entire Ultra fully. And if you get anywhere close to him, he's going to do that, chip you, and you're going to lose. It makes Blanka a very dangerous character, and I'm surprised he's not used more often, or at least we don't see any of them at high-ranking tournaments as often as I would think you would. Now, I will say that yes, both Balrog and Blanka are bad matchups for my main, as are E Honda, and I will say that up front. Therefore, that does put a bad taste in my mouth. But again, that doesn't take away from good players. Take DFWJ. I played him in the last Fight Nation tournament, and oh my goodness, I am surprised I even won that. He has a good Blanka, and in reality I got both lucky and I was patient. All the stars aligned and I was actually able to beat him. He did find me later in a championship match, maybe 2 weeks later, and just completely destroyed me, which in reality is what I expect when I play a good Blanka, Balrog, or E-Honda. So how are we gonna rate Blanka? Let's see, he's got an Ultra that annoys me. He himself is a bad matchup, but in reality, he's a good character. I like his character, I like his backstory, I like the character himself. You need to know what you're doing with him, and if you do, he is incredibly dangerous and annoying. So where does that land him? I'm actually going to give him a 4 out of 5 because I just like the guy. Just in general, I just like him. That's all I can really say about it. This is GoggleCandy, and hopefully I'll have a new video up tonight.